Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast, where we provide you with your weekly diagnosis of everything fantasy football. Whether it's season-long leagues, dynasty, DFS, or sometimes even IDP, we got you covered all year long. Let's do it. Let's get to it. Welcome into the Fantasy Football Diagnostics Podcast. It is Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. I'm your host, Jon Jr., and of course, this guy to my left, that'll be my guy, Greg Penniman, a.k.a. G Money. What's good, man?
Chilling, man. You know, on Thursday night preview time. Got Atlanta and Carolina. Yeah, a little typical Thursday night, but it's fine. We can see Cordell back. I like watching Cordell as a football player. Man, it's very interesting to watch. So I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, we were, previewing a little we're talking a little Cordell the other day. Actually, that'll be yesterday when we had to recap, the week that was, which is, unusual for us. But, if you did get a chance to check it out, we also discussed the waiver show as well. Make sure you're subscribed to Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, however you're listening, or make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or Periscope. But everybody, we are here to talk about the aforementioned game between the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons, a rematch of a divisional matchup here between these two teams. But before we get into any of that, we do got to talk about some injury news, which probably segues us into streams of the week. But the most important elbow in all of America right now is the elbow of Josh Allen. Day to day, according to head coach Sean McDermott, if he were to miss Sunday's game against the Minnesota Vikings, he would be replaced, or Case Keenum would come in to play in his absence. I mean, obviously, if you're the Josh Allen manager, you got to make some adjustments there. But are you concerned about Bill's pieces offensively? I know we touched a little bit on this yesterday, but just want to ask more time with Case Keenum here. Like, are you concerned at all about some of these weapons? And obviously Stephon Diggs is probably still going to have, he's still going to be elite amongst the elite. But like, what about these other guys like a Gabe Davis, or are you staying away from Isaiah McKenzie's and things like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, we all know Stephon Diggs played with Case Keenum, the Minnesota Miracle. They have a lot of connection together, so I'm not too worried about Diggs. Gabe Davis, he was a boom or bust player, but wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 before. I don't think that kind of changes with a quarterback. He's either gonna blow up. He could still get open. Case Keenum, no slouch of a quarterback, so I think it should be fine. Maybe Isaiah McKenzie could take a little hit. Maybe they could rely on running the football a little bit more. Case Keenum is not a running quarterback, so it should open up if he's able to play. If he plays, it opened up all those carries that Josh Allen has and should give him to the running back. So if anything, it should help Devin Singletary, James Cook, specifically Devin Singletary for sure though.
Yeah, if Greg, I know you remember, but if listeners remember or haven't listened to or watched this before, we talked about this same exact thing with like the San Francisco 49ers, right? Like how I'm much more interested in these running backs. These receivers even have somewhat more defined roles to an extent with Trey Lance, being replaced by Jimmy G. And there's a similar thing here, right? Like Josh Allen, he's great, and he's great for fantasy. Obviously, he's an elite quarterback, but he's terrible for all the running backs around him because those touchdowns,
all those goal line touchdowns, man. That's all Josh Allen, man. It's crazy.
Currently leads the Bills in rushing right now. So, and he's on pace for, I believe, a career high, or he was on pace for a career high during that Jets game. But Devin Singletary becomes super interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super interesting. James Cook probably even becomes interesting. Yeah, this is like not great for Josh Allen, but if I have Devin Singletary, if I'm in need of running back help, that's something that definitely would make some sense there. Um, there's another injury that we have to look out for at the quarterback position, and Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray dealing with a hamstring injury and did not practice today in what was considered to be a walkthrough for the Arizona Cardinals. In a practice estimation, he would not have practiced. Colt McCoy is his backup, so um, yeah, definitely. Just if you are the Kyler Murray manager, be on the lookout for that. How do you think this impacts the Cardinals?
Um, Similar to the fact that D Hop should still eat no matter what. Um, Maybe Rondell Moore takes a slight hit bump, but I think I still see him as in wide receiver 2 category. And then for the running backs, it probably also kind of the same kind of area there. Kyler Murray, also a rushing quarterback, should sway some rushing yards to the running backs a little more. Colt McCoy, more of a pocket passer for sure. So James Conner, Benjamin, whoever the lead back is, probably James Conner get more of the carries. He could get a bump in carries and also stuff like that and checkdowns as well.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that as well. DeAndre Hopkins, no change there. Rondell Moore, I think it's like you said, like a slight bump down, but I'm not going to downgrade him much. Like his role's
Yeah.
not changing. And Colt McCoy, he's not a runner like Kyler Murray is. He can move a little bit, but he, like you said, he is going to operate from the pocket. If they do, from a fantasy perspective, like if I'm in super flex leagues and I need quarterback help, like I'm comfortable playing Colt McCoy. I mean, they do play the Rams this week, but the Rams defense hasn't been, the same Rams defense that we've known it to be. And if
You
he's
playing Colt McCoy or Case Keenum?
give me Case Keenum against in a revenge game for him and Stephon Diggs.
Court. Crazy, yo. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was gonna say though, like if DeAndre Hopkins catches 2 touchdown passes, that's 2 touchdowns that Colt McCoy probably threw. And like I said, he can use his legs as well. So just in super flex, I think he has some value there. I'm speaking from somebody who rosters Kyler Murray and Josh Allen and is probably looking at trying to get Colt McCoy. But anyway,
Usually I don't know, I feel like there's always one like when the backup quarterback comes in, maybe like a guy on a receiver like along the depth chart also pops up because they have that practice time together a little bit. So maybe Khalil Shakir or I don't something like that could have some intrigue.
that's true as well. Definitely.
Yeah.
I see that narrative for sure with a guy like Khalil Shakir, because Khalil Shakir is a rookie. He's been playing mostly with the second team, but on the Cardinals, they don't really have anybody that kind of
Yeah.
it's been Robbie Anderson, AJ
Yeah.
Green,
True.
DeAndre Hopkins. Like, I'm sorry if I'm anybody on the Cardinals,
Oh
I'm
no.
throwing a D Hop.
Throwing it
Like
yeah.
I'm the backup quarterback. I'm coming in. You call 25 passes, like 20 of them are going to D Hop.
Facts, yo.
Like it
Facts.
doesn't
Make me
matter.
look good, please. Make me look
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
right. Like I want to keep this job. D Hop,
Yeah.
let's go.
Let's
Me and you,
go.
we're gonna get this thing going.
Yeah.
um. Anyways, let's talk about streams of the week. And maybe if you're in a one quarterback league, these guys here that we'll talk about could help you out. If Case Keenum or I mean rather Josh Allen or Kyler Murray have to miss their games on Sunday. Greg, I'll start with you. Who's your quarterback stream of the week this week?
I'm gonna go with Jimmy Garoppolo versus the Los Angeles Chargers at 46%. One reason because I'm thinking you probably took Jacoby Brissett, so that's probably one of the reasons that he's definitely another guy I'm having in my mind. But going with Jimmy G, in his 6 starts since he came in for Trey Lance. I mean, he's averaging over 250 yards, 256, and close to 2 touchdowns per game. So that's a very safe quarterback number. He's only got 4 interceptions in the 6 games. He's not gonna kill you with turnovers. So yeah, Jimmy G, he's a guy that's going to give you what he's good. He's going to regress to his average every week to give you 250, 2 touchdowns possibly, and a possible high scoring game. I'll take that.
Yeah, definitely. And Jimmy G, 100% your type of quarterback.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, I believe we have audio of you calling him the most handsome quarterback in the league.
He is.
Um,
The Clark Kent of football right there. Yeah,
doubles down,
Clark
he
Kent.
does. um, but yes, you were 100% right, Greg. I am going with Jacoby Brissett. And I feel like I should have been entitled to because
Yeah,
I was the one that brought
yeah,
him up.
yeah.
uh,
It's a
but
great play.
also because I've been ranking him higher than consensus all season, and it has not really come through for me. But every time, I look at the projections, that for some reason his projection is always so high. And this week it's because he plays the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got good weapons around him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones is really coming to his own. But Miami allows the most fantasy points to the quarterback position over the last 3 weeks. Obviously, I understand that includes the Justin Fields game, but they have not been good all year. This is a defense that we've been attacking. And so Brissett, I look at him like we just talked about the weapons. He's definitely very capable of taking advantage in this matchup. He's put up 15 or more fantasy points in 5 of his 8 matchups this season. And in games in which he scored less than that, those are actually against some quality defenses. Had to play New England and Baltimore in 2 of his last 5 weeks. So I like Brissett to definitely take advantage in this matchup here against the Miami defense that is paired with a Miami offense that is going to score you to force some points, or force you to score some points. But yeah, Brissett's my quarterback stream of the week, rostered again in 9% of leagues.
Love it.
Greg, who's your tight end stream of the week this week? Seems like you're doubling down.
Yes, sir. Doubling down, going back to the well. Got to go Cole Kmet here. Coming off his best game of the season, but got another great matchup against the Detroit Lions. Got to give me some Detroit Lions action here. The Detroit Lions give up the 5th most not fantasy points, yards to tight ends, per week. They also give up bottom 10 in receptions they're giving up to the tight end position. So it's a great matchup here. It's also a good timing here, I think, for Cole Kmet and this Bears offense. As we said, Justin Fields playing a lot better, getting more passes down the field, and trusting in both his legs and just getting more opportunities for points for this team. So I like Cole Kmet, 47% rostered.
Yeah, it's not a great tight end week for some of these. Like, it feels like all of the good tight ends have the best matchups, and so those are the guys that are not available, and therefore you can't really stream. But Cole Kmet definitely, ascending as this Bears offense is ascending. I mean,
Yeah.
There's a stat going around that they're, it's not going around. It's a legitimate stat, but they are the number 1 team over the last few weeks in scoring drives, meaning 53% of their drives end in a score. Well, tops in the league. And so getting a piece of this Bears offense, obviously it starts with Justin Fields, but Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, the running backs, and now even Chase Claypool potentially. You definitely want pieces of this Bears offense. My tight end stream of the week, I am also doubling down, except your tight end stream of the week, his rostership went up,
tremendously.
25%,
pretty
and
much.
almost doubled after his big game, while mine's didn't move. Noah Fant, still 12% rostered. I don't know how many of you actually played him, but he's 12% rostered going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And over the last 3 weeks, Tampa Bay allows the 15th most fantasy points to the position. I know that doesn't sound great, but technically it's 14th, with one of those teams that are actually worse than them being on bye this week. Combine that with some of the bye weeks, and it's a rough week for the tight end position. As I previously mentioned, Fant has been solid coming off a big week, but he's actually been playing well over these last few weeks as well. So I'm going back to that. Well, if you need help at the position, you can roll Noah Fan out there.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that. I think people are a little afraid of Tampa Bay, seeing that team, but I'm not afraid. You shouldn't be afraid of their defense. They're definitely attackable, and just no fan. I like it.
Greg,
Geno
what
cooking
about
back there.
defense, man? What are you doing there?
I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders going against the Indianapolis Colts. They're 35% rostered. Yeah, the matchup here is just very, very good. Backup quarterback Sam Ellinger. They're able to get sacks. The last time they had a really cake matchup was Houston, and they were able to get a sack and a pick in that game. Actually, had a pick for a return for a touchdown. So when they have the right matchup, I think they can get some good results. They might lose the game. They might give up the lead probably again, but they'll force some turnovers.
Yeah, we talked about this off air, but the math almost made me come on here and give the same recommendation as you. But you have more gusto than I, sir, because I could not come out here and couldn't do it. I couldn't. I mean,
They
yeah, I
have that
couldn't do it.
Derek Carr Juju.
This is Derek Carr Juju.
Oh man.
The just Josh McDaniels Juju. If they lose to the Indianapolis Colts this
I
week,
mean, they can still lose.
they 100% still lose.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, for sure.
But Josh McDaniels will not have a job on Monday. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
Oh man. Yeah,
What?
no way. No way.
You can't lose to the team that just fired their head coach on Tuesday.
Yeah, and
hired Jeff Saturday, who's on TV the same day or the day before to
from high school football to NFL. Yes, sir.
And then you lose to that team.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen.
I'm just saying. But again, I'm going with the Houston Texans. It's not even it's not much better than the Raiders, but they're widely available, rostered in 1% of leagues, going up against the New York Giants. They're actually a solid defense. They aren't world beaters defensively, but neither are the Giants, on offense, right? So This is going to be a low-scoring game, some sacks, potentially some turnovers. I'm projecting them for the fourth most sacks on the week. Yeah, Houston is my stream. I do, again, the math bears out. Vegas, 100%, a logical stream. So, yeah, that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I like the Houston one for sure. I mean, Giants, they're the reason why they're, so good is not because of their offense. Just say that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Thursday night football, man. And we've got the 4-5 Atlanta Falcons traveling to Carolina to take on the 2-7 Carolina Panthers. This game has a 43.5 point total, where the Atlanta Falcons are 3-point road favorites. In terms of the weather, actually pull that up right now. But in terms of weather, it's actually supposed to be thunderstorms and 68% chance of precipitation in the area, as we once learned. So yeah, that's definitely not great for the passing game. So could potentially make for low scoring game there. But in terms of injuries on the Atlanta side, cornerback AJ Terrell, he's out. He's missed the last couple games. Eric Harris, the safety, he's out with an ankle injury. Felipe Franks dealing with a calf injury, he's out. Matt Hennessy, the corner or the center rather, he was placed on injured reserve with a knee injury. And Elijah Wilkerson, the offensive tackle, was placed on injured reserve with a knee injury as well. So definitely some injuries there for the Atlanta Falcons. On the Carolina side, safety Justin Burris, he's listed as out for a concussion. Rashard Higgins, he is been ruled out with an illness. And then running back Chuba Hubbard, who was expected or is expected to return. He said that he would play and plans to play in this game, and was somebody that we talked about yesterday. He was put on the injury report as questionable. So don't know if that's just precautionary, but he did say earlier in the week that he does intend to play. Safety Jeremy Chin, the star safety for the Carolina Panthers, was designated to return from the injured reserve with a hamstring injury. So don't know if he will play or not, but he's the Panthers have the option to activate him ahead of this game. Greg, in terms of this matchup here, what are you thinking?
I'm hammering the under. I am going to take Atlanta to cover, Atlanta to win. I think Atlanta just kind of controls the game flow a little bit by running the football. This is probably the prime matchup. This is what Atlanta's coach wants. Like, this is a dirty, grinded out, run the football type of game, ball control. So Atlanta on their side, Cordell Patterson, he's an RB1. I think he's going to have a very solid game, for a very good game in this week. Another week healthy. He's going to get more carries. He's going to get a lot of yards. He could get some work in the passing game, but he's going to get more carries for sure. He had 13 last week. That should go up this week. As far as the receivers, it's hard to trust Drake London. I think Asim is more of a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Kyle Pitts is a boomer bust, low end tight end 1. And then Marcus Mariota should, on paper it should be solid for him to get a lot of rushing yards, but it's hard for me to trust him, so I'm gonna stay away. On the Carolina side, Chuba Hubbard, if he's able to go, I think he's got RB2 value in this matchup. In that spot start when he was healthy, seems like with the RB1 they really trust him. They really give him majority of the work. So he should see close to 15 and 20 carries if he's able to go. And then there's the receivers. Love DJ Moore. Obviously, he's going to be the guy that's going to dominate target share. And then Terrace Marshall Jr. going to continue to play him, add him a couple leagues, going to start him. I think he can be a guy that has strong flex value this week in a good matchup.
Yeah, I am taking the under as well. Carolina actually to cover, Carolina win. It was not too long ago that these two teams played in a wild game. They went to overtime, and the Panthers
Somehow
had
won.
a chance to win with DJ Moore took his helmet off, which then extended the field goal. The extra
what
point.
A brutal call. They need to take that call. That's brutal, man.
And so it wasn't that long ago that I thought the Carolina Panthers were a better football team than the Atlanta Falcons, and that they could beat the Atlanta Falcons in their home stadium, which they almost did. So I'm going to take Carolina to even it up in the 2-game series. But on the Atlanta side, Cordell Patterson, he's back as an RB1 in this offense. His utilization in the run game, the pass game, his touchdown opportunities, those, and plus the matchup. Carolina allows the third most fantasy points to the running back position over the last 3 weeks. And then Algier, I think still, he has some upside as an RB2, RB3 potentially. Again, it's running back position is rough. Players on there's guys on bye. So Algier, I think he could be in your lineup. Went I think 10 for 99 last week or something to that effect. But and when it comes to Kyle Pitts, I do like the matchup here. Carolina allows the 7th most fantasy points to the tight end position in the last 3 weeks, so I definitely like the matchup. But I do agree he is a lower tight end 1 option. We have a bunch of guys in some really good spots at the top of the tight end position. Like you said, Drake London, he seems unplayable right now. Even in a great matchup, it's really tough to trust him. So probably a wide receiver 4, but he's probably going to be on my bench. In most leagues, unless it's like really, really deep leagues and I got to get someone in there. For Carolina, DJ Moore had his first bad game since the Christian McCaffrey trade, but he's still a wide receiver 1 for me, with Atlanta allowing the most fantasy points to the wide receiver position the last 3 weeks. So Terrace Marshall, also a wide receiver 3 with some upside for more. And again, in the matchup here, obviously the rain and whatnot could lead to a subpar day in that front for the passing game. But DJ Moore is definitely a guy that I would play, and Terrace Marshall, depending on how the weather looks and things like that, probably gets downgraded. But Foreman and Hubbard are RB2s in this one, with Foreman obviously getting the bump if Hubbard is forced to sit in any way. Yeah, that's really all I got on this one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hopefully, it can kind of shock us and be a little entertaining.
Yeah, no, definitely. What will be entertaining is when these bold predictions, aka
Yes, sir. This money hits. Yes,
hit.
facts.
What do you got for us this week, Greg?
I'm looking to parlay Terrace Marshall Jr.'s over on his receiving yards, 38.5, with Cordell Patterson's over on his rushing yards, which is at 53.5. That gives you plus 236 right there.
That's a nice payout right there.
Mm-hmm.
What was the total on Terrace Marshall again?
38.5.
38.5.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. No, I definitely like both of those right there. Feels like it's been a pretty good run for me. I mean, missed out on the Tampa Bay game. Got the yardage for DeAndre Hopkins in the Arizona game, but didn't get the touchdown there. So, we split that one. But feels like I have to keep this thing going. So I'm going with, it wouldn't be bold if I didn't, up it here, but I'm going with Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
Over 50 plus receiving yards. That's plus 188.
Wow.
His line is
37
set at 37 and a half. According to FanDuel Sportsbook, it was 37 and a half, something like that. And if you want to go to like 40 receiving yards, don't hate that either. It's like plus 108 or something like that, but it's got to be bold, right? So I wanted something that was,
that's true.
a little bit more. So Kyle Pitts plus 188, and I think if you want to get some extra juice on that, just throw in the Cordell Patterson anytime.
Yeah, parlay. Ooh, yeah, no, I'll do. I wanted to throw that in. I mean, the man's got 5 touchdowns in the 5 games he's played. So,
I mean, it's just almost, it's like, feels like a guarantee that he will score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, I think that's all we got for Thursday Night Football. So everybody, just make sure you tap in tomorrow as we break down. We perform our first ever NFL game played in Germany, so that'll be interesting. Greg, anything you want to say before we close this out?
No, I mean, if you parlay everything we just said, that's plus 110.65. So, well, even if you do Kyle Pitts over 37 and a half, that's what I did.
Oh yeah.
That's 65. There you go. I mean, plus 50 is fire. Amazing.
Hey, you know what? Might have to throw that out there. That's the official, Thursday night prop bet. Might have to throw that out on Twitter and really start sharing the love, because that'll let these people know. All right, y'all. Definitely appreciate you tapping in, and just make sure you again like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and make sure you tune in tomorrow, because again, like I said, we're gonna break down all those 1 p.m. games for you. Have a good one, everybody. We're out of here. We'll catch you later.
Yeah.